All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden move. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden move. You don't know the half of the abuse. Yeah. Welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they loved one day docked away. Just because we take the guns at the door doesn't mean your brains will change from hand grenades. You'll never know the psychopath sitting next to you. You'll never know the murderer sitting next to you. You'll think, how'd I get here sitting next to you? But after all I said, please don't forget. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden move. You don't know the half of the abuse. We don't deal with outsiders very well. They say newcomers have a certain spell. You have trust issues not to mention. They say they can smell your intentions. You'll never know the freak show sitting next to you. You'll have some weird people sitting next to you. You'll think, God, I get here sitting next to you. But after all I said, please don't forget. Tried to warn you just to stay away, and now they're outside ready to burn. It looks like you might be one of us. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden move. You don't know the half of the
They banished me, never to be seen, to a place where the air's always filled with screams. So hot that the land only grows weeds. A place filled with demons and ghosts, tumbleweeds. Betrayed by some comrades, et tu brute, I might get you all back. It's not if, no it's when. Better watch out, cause I'm coming for revenge. I'ma train hard, I'ma go far. I will learn with every new scar. Got a cold heart, yeah, feeling arc. Enemies give me energy from the start. Got an addiction to winning, so I will work till I get it. The sweat is dripping, I'm in it, I'll never stop till I finish. I'm feeling demons possessing, they took a hold of my vessel. The energy of the devil, yeah. A new man, a new me. Better watch out, you ain't never seen a beast. I don't always have control, he could be me. Got a chip on his shoulder and he got some sharp teeth. Anyone in my way, and anyone who betrayed, anyone I have to face, I'll wipe them out like the plague. Yeah. I'll wipe them out like the plague. outside, don't be scared. Yeah, I'm more than prepared. I've been prepping for this day and now it's finally here.
Uneasy, dissatisfied, there is a great disturbance, causing affliction, to this frail and broken mind.
They banish me, never to be seen, to a place where the air's always filled with screams. So hot that the land only grows weeds. A place filled with demons and ghosts, tumbleweeds. Betrayed by some comrades at too brute. I'ma get you all back. It's not if, no it's when. Better watch out, cause I'm coming for revenge. I'ma train hard, I'ma go far. I will learn with every new scar. Got a cold heart, yeah I'm feeling arc. Enemies give me energy from the start. Got an addiction to winning, so I will work till I get it. The sweat is dripping, I'm in it, I'll never stop till I finish. I'm feeling demons possessing, they took a hold of my vessel. The energy of a devil, yeah. A new man, a new me. Better watch out, you ain't never seen a beast. I don't always have control, he could be me. Got a chip on his shoulder and he got some sharp teeth. Anyone in my way, and anyone who betrayed, anyone I have to face, I'll wipe them out like the plague. Yeah. I'll wipe them out like the plague. Bullets fly through the air. If you got a death wish, come outside, don't be scared. Yeah, I'm more than prepared. I've been prepping for this day and now it's finally here.
Tonight I'm filled with righteous indignation. I want to define something for you tonight. The definition for pervert. It means to lead someone away from what is considered right, natural, or acceptable. This book has been permitted in 6 schools in the Wake County public school system. I'll read just a little bit of this perversion that we have allowed in the school system. So he bends me over the bed and on the blowjob tip. It says, use your... Doesn't it make you cringe as I read that to you? Makes you crawl in your skin. It's a dastardly deed. The question today is, who is the pervert that's allowing this to be purchased and delivered to our libraries? Who is the pervert that signs off on this bill? Who are you? What do you stand for to accept this? Can you be in your right mind and be decent as a human to allow this to be at the access and the fingertips of children? We know who the perverts are. There's one political party in this country that supports this junk. It's a party that castrates children, mutilates children, perverts children, grooms children, murders children, and indoctrinates children. We know who the perverts are. Who is the pervert?
Welcome, Mark Brooks.
Let's go. Bring it. So we're going to play a game here.
Okay.
Before you answer, we're going to play a game. The game is called Stupid or Liar. So
Okay.
either you were too stupid to realize what I would type was sarcastic, or you're going to say you didn't realize it was sarcastic and you're lying. So pick one.
Stupid.
Everything is stupid. Everything is stupid. I get too hard. Everything is stupid. Or maybe just done. Mr. Max not to drop, but prefers to break the lines and the lies. He is mad all the time. He seems alcoholic or maybe psychotic. If you watch very quick, look like he's a singer from the sea. Everything is stupid. Everything is stupid. Ask it to Mark. Everything is stupid. If you bother to try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you watched Everybody's ruined, strangers hot, but everyone's stupid. Have it on Mark, you used to be handsome. Who's wanna grace that Charles Manson? Told you an acid, it had the opportunity to question everything, including masculinity. He told you toxic, like a real feminine. And that's mandatory from a Disney employee. Disney employee, 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 Disney employee.
You look like teenage Nazi Santa Claus.
I'm very much a Nazi, aren't I? Sure.
Hey, you said it.
Yeah.
You said it.
You called me Nazi Santa Claus before. I must be a Nazi.
Listen, Ethan, here's the deal.
Everything is stupid. Everything is stupid. Ask it to Mark. Everything is stupid. Or maybe just that.
Bell Red, Moonshine, and Twitless.
Stupid.
Micah, Oz, and Liam.
Stupid.
Skyver, Ralph, and Klein.
Veritas.
Hey, Dollar, TJ, and Java.
Stupid.
George, Skip, and Chris.
Stupid.
Sheila, Summer, and Saggy. Hiller, Daria, and Vic.
Stupid.
Nasser, Doug, and Mike.
Very stupid.
Listen, sociopath, you narcissistic sociopath, I've told you, I'm not debating you anymore. You want me? Come see me. I got you covered. I got you, my friend. And if I don't ever see you, I'm going to assume it's you who's the coward and the woman. Come see me, my friend. I'm bigger than you, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
I am. Well, I mean, not physically. That's not possible.
This one goes out to my one and only true love, Princess Peach. Peach, you're so cool. And with my start, we're gonna rule. Peach, understand. I'm gonna love you till the very end. Peaches, 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 I love you. Oh, peaches, 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 peaches,
And ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation. And in fact, it's the only way that we have. I really want to speak to the fact that I've had some challenges in the last couple of years myself. And ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation. And in fact, it's the only way that we have to somehow accept, and not deny, but feel our suffering and feel our losses, and then we make one of two decisions. We either decide to go through the gate of resentment, which leads to vengeance, which leads to self-harm, which leads to harm to others. You've made the decision to walk through the gate of forgiveness to grace, just as Christ did on the cross. He suffered terribly, and he was broken by it to the point of doubt and a feeling of absolute abandonment, which all of you felt. And then there was a decision to be made. And the decision was to look upon the people who were causing that suffering, or the situation that was causing that suffering, with compassion and with forgiveness. And that's what opens the gates of heaven for all of us. So I'm so glad to be with you and to be a part of this. Thank you, Father Greg. Thank you, John.
They banished me, never to be seen, to a place where the air's always filled with screams. So hot that the land only grows weeds. A place filled with demons and ghosts, tumbleweeds. Betrayed by some comrades at too brute. I'ma get you all back. It's not if, no it's when. Better watch out, cause I'm coming for revenge. I'ma train hard, I'ma go far. I will learn with every new scar. Got a cold heart, yeah, I'm feeling arc. Enemies give me energy from the start. Got an addiction to winning, so I will work till I get it. The sweat is dripping, I'm in it, I'll never stop till I finish. I'm feeling demons possessing, they took a hold of my vessel. The energy of a devil, yeah. A new man, a new me. Better watch out, you ain't never seen a beast. I don't always have control, he could be me. Got a chip on his shoulder and he got some sharp teeth. Anyone in my way, and anyone who betrayed, anyone I have to face, I'll wipe them out like the plague. Yeah. I'll wipe them out like the plague. Bullets fly through the air. If you got a death wish, come outside, don't be scared. Yeah, I'm more than prepared. I've been prepping for this day and now it's finally here.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm sure Diana will be with us in a moment. I am TAMU. Welcome to our show.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
I am here.
Welcome aboard.
Absolutely. That was a very interesting, not pre-show. I particularly like the TAMU cooking. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot more of that coming. The face paint is still being worked on, but you know, I had to cook something today, so.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So what's up?
You did.
How you doing?
Nothing. I'm doing good, actually.
Yeah.
Considering my finger was dissected yesterday with 6 stitches and all kinds of weird things happening. And
Yeah, that
so
sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, it's achy, but not undoable. I took my medicine, so I'm pretty good right now.
Nice.
Anyway.
Yes.
Anywho, we are counting down to Mangai, by the way. We are
7 days left, baby.
7
We're
days.
at $170.
I know. I am well aware. I've been watching the numbers not grow. I'm a little sad, a little disappointed, but we have a plan. We always have a plan, right?
We always have a plan.
We always have a plan.
We always have a plan.
Yes, indeed, we do. Which is
It's
a
not
good
always
thing.
a good plan, though. Sometimes my plans don't work.
What do you mean?
Sometimes my plans don't work.
No. Yeah, but at least you have a plan to try to work with,
Well, this is true.
right? I mean, just saying.
So you should be able to see the promotion right now. We're at $170.
Mhm.
Our goal is 1,301. However, we know that can be made in just one good night. So time is still with us.
It is. It's not over
Really,
till it's over, buddy. Remember,
yeah,
right?
yes, that's right. That's right. I'm just flipping through it right now.
Yep.
The pretty
Looks good.
artwork. I do the artwork, by the way.
You do. You do the artwork. You do the writing.
I do.
You do the
I don't want to
layouts.
come off as bragging, but I do, you know.
You pretty much do it all. I do the editing.
Well, in part, that's a necessity
I cook
because
the dinner.
it's cheaper to do that way, and I just, no, I'm not the easiest guy to work with.
You are not the easiest guy to work with. That is a very factual and true statement.
But that doesn't mean I'm
You're
not a nice
actually
guy.
really, you're actually quite challenging, but it's always an adventure with you because I never know, right?
Well, one
Never-
would presume you never know. I think you do know, though.
Mhm.
I
Sometimes you
do.
surprise me. So, Mangai is ending in 7 days, you did say, correct?
That's right.
Today is the 24th, so I'm counting 1, 2, 3, oh dear, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could it
Yep,
be on
that's right.
my
There. 7 days
June
left.
1st? June 1st?
Mhm.
It ends on June 1st.
Yep, and it ships at the end of July. Should we make it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, we will have to plan something for that night for our closing stream. Either a celebration dance or a
A funeral
plan
march.
B dance. A plan B dance, right?
Well, you know, we haven't failed on a campaign yet, so
We have not. We have hope.
you
We are
know it
hoping
will
out.
be interesting for us. But we're grown adults. We can handle it either way.
Mhm.
I'm excited either way though, because the project is hot. And as you
It
know,
really
ever since TAMU started putting on the makeup,
Mhm.
the art has started to improve. Which, if you told me it would keep improving after 5 years of doing it, I wouldn't quite necessarily believe you.
Right.
It does. Just to like give you an example of things that are happening in my world,
Mhm.
I have 1 week left with a comic book how-to club. I'm working with 20 or so kids that are working. They're most of them are in teams, although I have a couple of all-in-one creators,
Right.
AIOC,
Mhm.
and it's just been so eye-opening and
I
encouraging
know.
and
You said
inspirational.
that. You've
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. And the kids are just coming up with all these ideas and the
You
way
know,
they
and it's really cool because some of them they didn't have ideas. So what I
Mm.
told them was, do a fan book. You know, if you don't have a character of your own, but you love Fortnite, do Fortnite. So there's a kid doing Fortnite. There's another kid. They're creating characters left and right, just popping them in the book.
Mhm.
There is one young lady who's got a book that really has impressed me because she kept the title. It's simply called Pretty. And
Mhm.
throughout the whole story, she's just going through the trials and tribulations of being a kid in school. And it's just so well composed.
Mhm. You said
You know,
that you were actually quite impressed.
yes. Even though she's a 5th grader, you know, it's not like ready for prime time.
Right.
But when you see a kid with the ability to extend beyond you know, basically scribbling and pinups,
Right.
you know, to actually work out a story and have a sense of page flow
Mhm.
naturally without any training. The only
Right.
training she really had was I said, try to make your layouts like the letter Z. And I showed her
Mhm.
how in my work I try to keep a Z going because that's how people read.
Mhm.
And she has been able to do that. She's been
That's
very
awesome.
good at it. Yeah. Well, you'll see her work, not you guys, the viewers, because obviously I can't just hand out miners' work, but my wife will see it. And I'm proud of them all. You know, they're responding in a way that I haven't seen with other offerings. During the winter, we tried to do something like this, and it was very hard to organize. The interest was waning because, of course, nobody wants to go out in sub-zero weather.
Right.
And now that it's spring, you know, I think that people are starting to come alive again and wanting to do some fun stuff.
I agree. It's been a little lively in our neighborhood too. Lots of dog walkers and people walk in and getting their exercise in, which is always really nice to see. You know.
That's right. That's right.
But so what else do we got planned for tonight? We're going to discuss obviously Man Guy, which we just sort of did a little bit.
Well, I'll tell the people, Man Guy is in the final stages now. I like to call it cooking in the oven, but issue 4, I've redone a lot of the work. It's almost some of it has even been modified because that's what happens when you sit on something a little bit. You find things, and I've never been this excited towards the end of a book, to the point where even if it doesn't fund somehow, I still am excited. This is still going to be something. If anything, I will take the fall and say that the promotion wasn't good enough, and then I'll reinforce my efforts on the next campaign. Speaking of the next one, I think I'll be putting out Cyclopean 5 towards the end of the summer, and there will be a Halloween comic in October of some sort. I'm debating between finishing Cluster Fudge or doing the new project that I discussed with you back in April.
Yeah.
But we'll see as we get closer. I don't want to overcommit to Halloween. Hello, Rick. How are you? Hey, that's kind of funny, me saying that in makeup, huh? I don't want to overcommit to Halloween.
Well, it's all right.
When's our next show? Because that's when TAMU.
Our next show is at their Rail City thing in June. It's a 2-day show. We'll be leaving sometime Friday afternoon to go set up. It's a 2-day.
What state is this in?
It's in Vermont.
Are they friendly to face painting freaks?
I'm sure they are. I know that Keith Gleason and his wife will be there, and another one of the artists that's coming to our comic book fest will be there as well. I think it's Mike. He asked if we were going, and I said, yes, we are. He goes, great, I'll see you guys there. So I thought that was really cool.
So by then, my outfit should just about be together.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. We have items coming in.
Yes, we do.
Because the next step for TAMU is to appear in conventions. Ultimately, we need to have something at the table. Yeah. And it might as well be me, since I'm making the comics. And, I'm not very pretty. So the white covers up all that look. And then, my wife can be the eye candy, and I will simply be the spectacle of.
You are so funny. You're the spectacle. I like how he says that.
Well, I don't know what else to call it. I mean, obviously it's an attention getter, or at least an attempt to get attention. And I embrace that wholeheartedly, folks.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I am so excited. Like, I love going out in the morning to check the mail with Whiteface. I love going to the local stores. I can't wait to go to the movie theater with my wife. I hope if we go to a rated R movie and they try to ID me, I can get away with it, because my ID doesn't have face paint. Do you think that's going to be an issue?
No. No, they're not going to ID you. You're a full-grown man.
I could be a 17-year-old football player. Just
You're not. You're not. No.
Painting's going to be the rage, right? It's just a matter of time.
Yep.
I'm always a couple of years ahead of the trend.
So next Monday, which is Memorial Day, our draw stream, Diana's draw stream, will be featuring Mike's.
Oh, you want us to do Mike Barron's American Patriot? or American
We'll be
private citizen. No,
Private American. Oh my God, Private American, for the love
Get
of
it
God.
straight, girl.
So and I thought that was kind of cool because we're going to be doing it on Memorial Day, 9:00.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought
So
that
what
was.
do you know about Private American? Are we going to have to do some
I'm going to
research?
look at his campaign thoroughly this week and become familiar with it. I do know it's a graphic novel. I believe it is about a private. I think he's in the Army. I haven't looked that far. And that's about all I know now. But I'm going to check it out and look at the Indiegogo for next week. And I tried to reach out to him, but he doesn't have any, you can't message him. He's too big. Like he probably, can you imagine? He doesn't have his message open. So I just put it, I think I left me on his channel, on his Twitter account, letting him know what we're planning to do. And I didn't know if Rick and Terry were definitely going to be there. So I just put artists. I didn't want to say, because you never know if something might come up. But at any rate, we're going to be doing that next Monday. This week, TAMU is once again putting himself out there with a wonderful cooking video. He cooked up a really cool cookbook. I mean,
did you like that? Did you like that?
I did like it.
I'm trying to do something. Don't move too far away from Private American, okay?
Okay. Why?
Because I'm trying. I want to show you guys something I sketched up.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
I'm not familiar with Private American. So my first step was I went over to the campaign and looked at what was available there in terms of the character, and I was sketching, and this is what I came up with. And I think he looks pretty cool. I made the Uzi a little bit too big, but I'm going to live with it for now. This is just it's a sketch, It's my first time drawing the character. I also modified his forearms a little bit, but he's got an interesting snake. There does appear to be 3 loops, which could be a 666. But I believe it's "Don't Tread on Me." Maybe the 666 is just there to be tough. And I, of course, made a copy of the logo because whenever we're done a draw stream drawing, I try to stick the logo on it. But yeah, I just wanted to show that real quick. And I was too slow to make it timely. I apologize for that.
It's all right. So that's kind of you've just been sketching him out just to get familiar with actually drawing the character when we go to Diana's drawstring on Monday night.
Yes.
Okay. And Rick did say he was going to be there. That's awesome.
Oh, I see. He said he'll be there. Oh, he saw the cooking bid. Yes, the cooking bid. I'll show it again in a little bit. I just don't want to play it out. It's not like a.
Next time, I'd rather have you. I would rather have you full in the picture. A lot of the times we were looking at your awesome Tom Brady shirt, which is fine. But
oh, you mean in the cooking video? Well,
yeah,
there was a reason for that.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to overexpose.
I see.
Yeah, it's something that Alice Cooper spoke about. He said, "Don't overexpose." All right, hang on. Let me see if I can find something. I'll be right back. Can you talk for a second?
Yeah, I can talk for a second. He's got to go look for something. So, in order to answer Timothy's "What in the world did the trans community finally get to the crow?" You're very funny. No, he did not. This is Chris's, AKA TAMU's, coming out. He has always been a face painter back in the 80s when he was in a band.
You make it sound so criminal. This is my husband coming out.
I'm trying to address Timothy's concern. Tim is probably like, oh my God, Chris, what are you doing? TAMU. That is the character's name.
I am promoting more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. All right, check this out, Tim. Tom Brady is the goat, you know. When you cook, you got to be a goat. Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
there'll be a series of dishes that I'll be cooking.
Yeah.
uh,
A
and
series of
yeah,
dishes. I love it.
we'll have various different developments on the channel. That will be the Hero Shack channel as we
There
try
you
to
go.
build that thing past 7 subs. So, by the way, guys, if you're out there watching, please like, sub, share, hijack your neighbors and make them sub, like, and share too. No, don't do that. That's probably not a good thing to recommend, is it? You could hijack them in Minecraft, though.
So
Diana,
guys are
did you
just
like mute
making
yourself or
suggestions.
something?
I
What
was
happened there?
reading. You know what? I'm sorry. I was reading. So Timothy is unsure of what he's saying. What did you make? Tim, you missed the whole thing, the whole concept. He made a
What did I
comic book.
make? I
What did you
rolled
make?
out.
My
I
Lord, have
rolled out
mercy.
quality ingredients, baked them at 500 degrees, and pulled out an issue of Man Guy. Ooh,
There you go. So
homemade
Terry
comics,
suggested
brother.
a grill, that you grill something next time. And Rick said you should have.
Ooh. Grilling will be interesting. I do. So the next one I plan on doing is I will be creating a pasta-like dish. But grilling is going to be on there, especially with the summer here. There'll be barbecues to celebrate. Let's see. Oh, look, I can see if I look up there. Yes, it was a very hot comic, brothers. And I highly recommend you back it over at Indiegogo today. Oh, I know
So
Rick's
funny.
going to go. I already did. I know you did, brother.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the millions of viewers out there in
No, I thought Chris came up with this idea. I thought that was a fun idea.
what, the cooking thing? You were
Yeah.
kind of like, you're going to do what? And then, of course, she didn't know I was
didn't know
going
what
to throw an egg.
I was like, what? And so I was sitting, you guys can't see me because I was sitting in the living room. We have an open concept. So I was sitting in the living room and filming his thing from the living room. I was resting my finger because it was throbbing.
Oh, you have
So
behind the scenes footage. I forgot about that.
I do have behind the scenes, but it's not great because it's up over the chair. Yeah, we have to upload it to Twitter.
What,
Chris
the video?
has that. Yeah, you got to upload that video to Twitter, honey. And
I put a link on there, but I guess I should upload it to Twitter, especially since I'm paying for a blue check mark.
yeah,
I bet
why
you I
don't
can
you?
do that.
It's silly or
Yeah,
not.
I will.
Yeah, you can. Anyway, I thought it was a really cute video, trying to get the point across. It's a hot comic. It's been baked in the oven. It's all ready to go, blah, blah, blah. And we have it baked by the famous, infamous TAMU. Actually, my finger had a biopsy done. I can go into the horrid details of what they did to me yesterday afternoon, but I'll spare your sensitive stomachs of that.
No, actually,
And
okay. So the finger thing, can I tell them anything about it?
yeah, I don't care.
So
It's an
she had a
alien thing.
discoloration under her nail, and
I had
it's
a
really
growth. It
weird.
wasn't excuse me, it was a growth. It was some
Okay.
sort of growth. He pulled it out. It came back blacker and darker. I tried a couple things at home, wasn't getting better. Went to my primary doctor. They didn't know what it was. Sent me to a dermatologist who took one look at it and said, we need to get a biopsy because we don't know what it is.
So
And
we're getting it tested.
it could be, let's see, they go, it could be a wart, could be a tumor, could be skin cancer, could be, we don't really know. So we're going to take a biopsy. So yesterday afternoon, I went in and what they did, can you guys see my finger here? They cut here and here. They cut up the center of my nail and they folded everything back. It's like little doors. I was wide awake. Thank God they numbed me. and it was very, very painful and ouchy. But I am going to be okay. I'm sure I'm going to be okay. I won't know for another 10 days what the biopsy is, and then we'll take it from there. Exactly. So I'm praying that it's nothing serious. I'm praying it's some weird little growth. The only thing is, when she got a really good piece of it, but she said it went all the way up. Like she didn't want to keep cutting up my finger. So the incision actually went to about here, but it was still, she could see the growth still going. So we don't know what it is. I suspect it's some alien thing in my body, but whatever.
I have a theory, but I'm not sharing it.
No, don't
because
share your
YouTube will throw me off the air
theories.
for it. I've gotten in trouble for talking like that.
I don't know how to give Tim a wrench.
I'm working on it.
Okay. Because I don't know why he doesn't have a wrench. Oh, maybe because it's the new channel.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So yeah, an alien probe, exactly, Rick. So Timothy, you should be getting a wrench very soon. So I took the day off today. I've been resting it, but I didn't rest it enough because now it's achy. All right, enough about my weird alien. Doesn't it look like what does it look like to you? Somebody said a lollipop, but I want to draw a face on it. Like a face would work.
I'm having let me see. I don't know.
I want to wave to all the little kids. I want to wave to all the little kids. Hello. Looks like ET. Maybe I could draw like an ET face on it. Yes, exactly. ET phone home. Yeah. So that's been my fun right now.
Oh, I see what's going on. Sorry, guys. It's taking me a hot minute because I didn't realize I wasn't logged into the Hero Shack channel. So I have a wrench, but I wasn't on Hero Shack. I was in StreamYard. So when I click your name, I didn't have the authorization to add a moderator.
So did you add him now?
Yeah, I'm adding you too.
Oh, gee,
because you're not a moderator either.
I know. Oops.
There we go.
Well.
Now.
Oh well.
Now everybody's a moderator.
Everybody. We're just opening up. Everybody's a moderator.
I got to put my glasses back on because my eyes haven't been done. I'm wearing the shades because I'm still working on an eye makeup, thingy. Mm-hmm. Something suitable because I don't want to look stupid. Right. Listen to that. I don't want to look stupid. And here I am. But I don't feel stupid. So that's the important part. And I know what it's going to be like when the full thing is put together. Like there are issues with it, The blue here is too light, but that's the paint that came in our kit, and the kit is professional, but it's limited, so I have to get more colors, darker colors.
Right.
I was doing some investigating. I wonder, Tim, what do you make of the Misfits? Because when I was investigating painted faces, they were pretty much the only big punk rock band that played with face paint at all. Although I think what's his face, the singer did too. The guy who sings Mother. You know who he is?
No, I do not.
I know somebody out there does. Yeah, well, I wonder what he thinks of the Misfits because they had face paint at various points in their career. Mm-hmm. They did keep it simple. Except for the skull face. Who's the singer? Because they showed him back in Danzig. Yeah, they showed him in the skull face thing, and maybe it's just because it's he was entering into it for the first time in 20 years. They said, but it looked wow, like they were using airbrush
around the eyes. I'm just reading Tim's comments because I know you can't.
Yeah, no, he's right. He did black around the eyes, and they did this thing where their bangs, where they were pulling them down like this.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought about doing, but I got to get some hair gel to really pull it off. But like they would literally let it hang down like this in the arc.
I think that's really silly.
Well, you got to see it. Of course, my representation there was very poor, but it did look kind of cool.
Look at you with your face paint. You're so funny. Anyways, guys, so he comes home and he paints his
Thank
face.
you, Tim. So I did look at the Sex Pistols. The only thing I saw with them was I think it's Johnny Rotten had an eye patch for a while, but I think it was for an actual eye injury. But they were pretty much clean faced. I forgot about some of these guys like King Diamond, who everybody thinks Gene Simmons sued him. But while I was reading, I found out he didn't actually sue him. He threatened to sue him. There have been a lot of wrestlers in face paint, and not as many rockers as I thought, which was surprising. Like, unless you count like the glam boys, like when Poison was doing the ladies' makeup,
right?
Motley Crue from the second album back was more like Alice Cooper. Then as they went into Theater of Pain forward, they were more like Poison. In fact, they were the ones doing it before Poison did it, the little girly look. That is not what this is about. And I'm kind of curious to see how this works because like Tim was like asking is has the trans come out or whatever. There are a lot of men painting now. Like, I was doing this because I thought it was unique, but in the trans community, there are a lot of face painters, which is interesting to me. I'm like, why are they all face painting? It's because when you put on the paint, it does change who you are. Like, your perception starts to change.
That's true. That is true.
Women experience it a lot more than men ever do because you all do put on makeup, between the foundation and the lipstick and the eyeshadow. By the time you're done, a woman may not even recognize herself, like from the time she woke up to the time she puts her makeup on. Face painting for a guy does the same thing. It's just kind of on turbocharge.
Yeah, that would be that's a way to look at it.
Well, you guys have foundation. I'm using like a white house paint.
No, you're not. It's not. It's.
I know it's made for the face, but it's like whitewashing. Like how you used to whitewash fences.
Yes,
back
I know
in the
what
days when it used to work. Now we buy vinyl fences that are colored white, and nobody ever paints them.
But the way you said that, I'm using white house paint. I'm like, well, it's not really.
No, although I have been tempted to go back to latex because latex you can get much sharper lines.
Right.
But then I was watching Paul Stanley, and he does a star on his eye, and he gets beautiful lines. So I got to figure out what he's doing. Oh, wow. That must have been really good in their hair, Tim. I imagine that would keep your breath going. Vicks vapor rub right in your hair. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. Tim, see, I knew Tim would have information on the punks that I didn't find in the simple articles that I was reading.
Right.
Especially in these retrospects. Like, I'm reading articles on Twisted Sister and Kiss, and they're written by kids, and I can tell they're going off of what they've heard, not what they experienced. And there is a difference. So, like, none of them have mentioned some of the stuff that Tim just mentioned, and it's interesting to hear because I was sure they weren't going into like their local beauty salon and getting stuff. That's not how punks work.
Right. Well, no, you tend to do your own. I came home from picking up Chewy today, and he was painted up. I'm like, oh, hi, TAMU. It's not Chris, it's hi. Like,
that's
he changed
right.
over
That's right.
before I even come home. I'm like,
well, the truth was we were talking about shooting that last night, and I just couldn't. I was like, no, I can't shoot. So coming home today, I knew I had to get the pre-show done. I added Ariel 13 to the lineup. And I needed to shoot that because I have to commit to doing it or else it won't get done. You guys know how that is. And so I got that done. Now next week, the pre-show will actually be kind of live because what I'm going to do, and we might as well talk about this now while we have a few viewers. We're going to run like a countdown. I'll pull my best DJ and be like, so here's, number 10, and hopefully we can get enough people to start voting so that the numbers will matter. But I guess I'll base it on money raised or time of service in the crowdfund or whatever. We'll find a way to rate it until we can get votes. But like nobody watches the pre-show but me and a couple other guys. So if we start featuring active live campaigns and we start making it fun, it could be kind of good.
Maybe you can try it.
I think it'll rock. I think it just needs to be exposed. Now, I mean, I hope people have common sense. It's best not to go over a minute. If you do, you don't want to go too far over a minute. It's best not to be under 30 seconds because if you're too short,
right.
I think that there's a campaign out there that we featured tonight, and we featured for a couple of weeks now, called Jupiter. And no matter what you think about the comic, because it is kind of out there, it's a crazy comic with a lot of cool stuff. But the way he has marketed himself has been impressive. The use that he's had of the videos and sharing them in a time where we're not exactly selling like hotcakes. I've paid a lot of attention to that. There's no doubt in denying it. When you're down, you do try to learn from other people who are up. So I am learning from this guy, hopefully, and on to the next campaign as soon as we get there. The next one will be on Fund My Comic, though. We'll test the waters with them.
Right.
I'm a fan of I think his name is Luke Stone. God, I hope I get it right because I'm saying I'm a fan of his. But I'm excited to get involved with it and give that a spin. Face painting for it was not cool. Yeah, no, you know what? That's funny, Tim, because for the most part, you're right. But in my particular circle of friends, we were nuts for it. But we were also major marks for wrestlers like the Ultimate Warrior. When Motley Crue came out, we shot at the Devil. We all marked out and started, the football paint under the eyes, the black lipstick. Oh yeah, we thought we were hip. And yes, we had the teased hair. That's the only thing I really haven't done yet. And I was looking for a proper wig, which sounds funny. I actually bought one, but it's terrible. But if I was going to do it, I would want.
I'm gonna wear Halloween as some Wicked Witch or something.
Yeah, it'll work for that. But to get the kind of wig I'm talking about, because I was thinking like Dee Schneider hair, I think I'd have to have it professionally custom made. Because they don't generally make them like that.
Or you just tease your hair and spray it up like you used to. Won't be as long.
Yeah, but I'm not young and like I used to be. I'm afraid that my thinning hair will all fall out.
Well, then you'll be bald and you can paint your head. Go for it.
Yeah. So to comment on Rick, Kiss was huge, and it was almost entirely because of their makeup. Alice Cooper also benefited from nothing but black eyes with a little line and black lipstick with 2 lines down. And the more elaborate guys like ICP had some pretty elaborate makeup, very thick lines, not very sharp, but they did a really good job with themselves. There were bands that would partake, but they weren't always in it. Like I guess The Cure used to wear some interesting makeup. But I mean,
so how are you tying this all into your comics?
I am potentially the first painted creator that's going to appear at conventions and is going to appear on all his media like this. So what I'm doing is I'm creating an icon, a character to reach out to the people, reach out to the kids and get some reading. And I got to figure out a way to do it so I'm not creepy clown, but I am cool clown. And to me, the coolest clowns were the glam rockers, who basically the ones in whiteface were the ones that always got me excited, because whiteface means you're dedicated. You're not just slopping a couple of strips of paint on. You're into the gig. And when you're in that mode, it's a whole different one. I've told the story before, but when I was involved in wrestling, putting on the face paint turned me into a character. And that is kind of what's happening with this. I know to you guys, I sound like the same kind of guy, but I am so excited to get in front of the crowds at conventions and just reach out and talk to the kids. I'm sure there were going to be middle-aged white men like myself who are going to be like, what? What are you, a member of KISS? And that'll be able to strike up conversations. And overall, I think right now in the world, We need some 80s representation for the face painting that used to be. The only people who are doing it right now are really not representative of any kind of male force. You know, like Kiss is touring, but they're like 80 years old. Dee Snider isn't touring, but he's up there too. And beyond them, I mean, who's carrying the torch?
You are Christopher. I mean, TAMU. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you gotta get my name right. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna have to start talking in third person like next show because you keep forgetting. So I'll be saying stuff like, "TAMU is so glad to see you all in the chat tonight, and TAMU is sorry that Diana's finger is not feeling good, but TAMU has a nice hot coffee, and he hopes that the red face paint, that's not lipstick, by the way, that's red face paint, doesn't run down his face as he drinks this coffee."
There you go. Kiss also now lip sings. Probably they're older guys, I would imagine.
No, he's absolutely right. And Motley Crue too. They're all using backing tracks because mostly the vocalists can't keep up with what they used to do. They may have a live track along with the tape so they can do the whole
all the energy.
"We love you, Philadelphia." But yeah, they're not live.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a lot of energy to get up there and do that thing.
Although I want to represent and say something here.
Okay.
Extreme is live. And we know this because we went to see Extreme this year and the sound system was horrible. Terrible.
Yeah,
it was like over the gain was too high and the speakers could, which in itself is a little embarrassing. Like back on the scene, we didn't even know there was. But my point is, even though it was horrible, they were performing live, and I could hear Gary Cherone really singing, and I could hear Nuno Betancourt truly singing. And when he was playing, the sound was such that it was distorted through the speakers, but I could hear his guitar tinging away, ting 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 ting. They really do play. They're live, and they're not using backup, or if they are, I couldn't tell it because I could hear them working the songs. Like it was a really weird thing because you could hear what was going on stage, and yet the sound was coming out. It was just bizarre. We are going to see them again real soon out in Hampton Beach, which is exciting because I've been told that, yes, I had a friend that goes to almost every Extreme show, and she told me it was terrible, but all their shows are good. So we're very excited to go to the next one because we're sure it'll be better.
Yep.
And yeah, that to me, I just like to say that because of all the old bands, Extreme is holding well. Peter Criss, yeah. Yeah, Peter Criss did that. Mick Mars told on Motley Crue after they dissed him and hired Johnny Five to replace him. He decided to let the cat out of the bag and say, well, you know, they're using backing. So, but we kind of knew that because Vince Neil's voice is shot. Like he can still hit the notes, but he can't hit the right note. Like you hear him go up high enough, but he's missing the octave. He's missing the tone. Yeah. We don't sing with tapes. You know what's funny though? I was actually at a Milli Vanilli concert back in the 90s before they were exposed. And they did nothing but sing to tape, and I loved their show, as weird as that sounds. They did a whole show where they were like ninja dancers, and they had swords and, you know, pyro effects. It was so corny. It was cool. It was like they would pop up out of the holes in the stage, and they would land, and they'd be singing their number. And then when it was doing, it wasn't really a guitar solo. It was like a little musical 8-bar thing that they had in their songs. They would fight the ninjas that would come on the stage.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Yeah, it was like kick ass. And it was a weird time for me. Like when we talk about racism today, I was with a mixed crowd. I mean, there were whites, there were blacks, and there were Spanish. And we were all different, male and female. Like we were all just hanging out. And it was like, Milli Vanilli was coming to Orlando. We all decided to go, and we had a blast. I mean, they only had one CD, and they were headlining. So we had to sit through, it was like half a dozen top 40 acts that were all horrible. Most of them were using straight out tape. Like when a female singer comes out and she's got a full band with backup vocalists behind her and there's nobody actually there, she's just singing along to a recording. But that was how they did it. So when Millie got caught, it was kind of surprising because they didn't actually sing anything, even in the studio. But at first I was like, so they're lip syncing live. So what? So does Aerosmith. So Aerosmith was doing it on Permanent Vacation.
Right.
And they'll never convince me otherwise because I saw them on Lightning Strikes. And then I saw them on Permanent Vacation. And the difference was night and day. They had added a keyboardist. And I was in such a position in the arena that I could see whenever the really high notes for Steven Tyler came up, the keyboardist was playing, which was telling me he had samples of Tyler's voice. So when he's like doing, like he can still do it live. But when he was doing it back then to keep in the key and all that stuff and keep it strong night after night, he had the backup on the keyboard ready to go. And I guess that was the 90s. I'm sure they do it more effectively now.
Right.
But in truth, as long as the guys are out there really jamming and really singing, I don't care if they're using backing tracks. But it's a real problem when like Paul Stanley's up there, and I've seen the videos, the music is the same every single town. The vocal line is the same every single town. And he always gets caught up by the mic. And, the song will start and he'll be, like out of sync with it. It's like, oh, crap. Yeah, that doesn't work well because that breaks the illusion. As long as the illusion is there, I'll buy into it, I guess.
No.
Yeah, Johnny Five. Yes, John Five of Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie, who actually is a kick-ass guitarist. If you actually haven't heard him, do a YouTube search for him and just watch him. Like he'll do melody lines. Like I watched him do a half hour,
right,
just ripping through popular metal songs from Van Halen to Rob Zombie to Marilyn Manson. Yes, he did all of them. Motley Crue, and he would just play like 8 bars of the chorus and then bounce into the next one. Now a lot of guys can play that way, but it was impressive to see it live and how he played with the audience. Like, like there's one thing to meet a guy who can sit in his bedroom and play all day. It's another thing to see him come out live and be able to feed off the crowd and read the crowd and know where to take it. John Five has that ability. He's very good. Not as good as Nuno Bettencourt, of course.
Of course not.
Nuno Bettencourt is the absolute best rock guitarist, in my opinion, of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's going to change that.
I know.
Even the great Van Halen and Steve Vai. Even though they're technically awesome. And so is Yngwie Malmsteen, Randy Rhoads, who died, regrettably, before his time. If I look at this monitor, I can read the chat. If I look here, I can't.
Which monitor? You mean the big one?
Big one on the wall, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know he wouldn't work with Manson again, but Manson has gotten so exposed for being not really a good guy. I was looking, I made a collection of all the face painted people that I could remember and put them into a photographic thing so I can do a slideshow at some point for a video.
Yeah.
And Manson is one of the bad guys in paint. Like there are good guys in paint and there are bad guys in paint. And I can't find a way to slide Manson into the good guys. Actually, a lot of them I can't. And the one guys that I'm sure belong in there would probably surprise everybody else. But the first face painters I put in there come down to ICP, Insane Clown Posse, because when I met them live, they were incredible guys. And I didn't just meet them. I hung out with them. I had dinner. And I did a show with them, not a music show, a wrestling show. And then years later, turns out they were actually believers in God. Now, notice I didn't say they were Christians because I don't know what their religion is, but they did clearly come out and talk about God and try to lead their juggalos to the Lord. I ain't going to argue with that. That's a beautiful thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
When you think about it,
let's see. I think we're supposed to go and offer the StreamYard link, and we haven't all night.
No, you haven't stopped talking. So
it's the face paint. I'm telling you, I'm excited.
I can see this. This is
It's
awesome.
it's emerging. I'm learning. I'm
Oh,
finding myself.
dear God.
Yeah, I'm on my journey. Oh shit!
On my journey too, with a finger. So
I
did
don't know
you
what
share it yet?
I tried. Hang on, I tried to, and like I got 800 things pasted in the thing. There we go.
Okay.
I almost sent out like this weird. I don't know what it did. It multiplied. Like it was the same link 800 times or something. So I deleted it and just
That's
sent it again, and it
bizarre.
worked.
That is bizarre.
I think it's because right now I'm on my M1 McClintosh.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of software open, so I have to close some of it. What happens on the M1 is when it hits a RAM max,
Right.
it just starts like it'll work fast, but it'll bog some of the background functions, and it comes up bad. You can see it. What's up, Tim?
Hello, Timothy.
Diana,
Yes.
Mr. TAMU.
What's up, brother?
How are you?
It's
How do?
Terry.
How do?
Oh, goodness.
So now that the lunatics have taken over the asylum, what do we do now?
I don't know.
Well, next I got to figure out this. So, like, I've been working on the cheek sides, and see this blue? This blue is baby blue.
Yeah.
I hate it. So we got to get better paint,
or you know
more.
who else painted his face? The guitarist for Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw something about that,
Yeah,
but I didn't find a picture of it yet.
Yeah, he did some crazy stuff with his attire.
You know who freaked me out, and I knew he was painting, but I didn't realize it, is the guy what's his name? Hardy, the wrestler.
Matt Hardy?
Matt Hardy? Yeah.
Holy. Now, these guys, I gotta believe, are not painting their own faces, because some of them, well, he does some of his because I've seen them, but some of these guys come out and they're done up in such a way. I'm like, bro, got a makeup artist. He had to have.
Have you seen that? What was it? He used to date that. What's her name? She was kind of a tough but attractive woman. What was her name?
Dang, what's her name? Not China. It wasn't China.
No.
It was someone else.
No,
it was someone else. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of her name.
So she was on an interview show on the WWE network, and he calls in, and you think it's a bit, but it's not, because yeah, he was like they were literally arguing on air
About face painting.
No, it was some kind of he was, of course, they weren't dating anymore, but it was some kind of like, ex relationship.
Oh,
have you seen that? It's crazy.
No, but it adds up when you say they were dating.
Yeah.
Canadian Shield creator Rick, how are you, brother?
Hey.
I don't like that voice. I don't want to use that anymore.
Hey, boo boo.
You're working on voices now?
Oh, I'm working on everything, Tim. We got to get this character organized by, when's the show? 2 weeks?
Dear God, June 23rd, the end of June. The end of
Can you
June.
do like a Wolfman Jack meets Macho Man Randy Savage?
No, not
Yeah,
June.
for about 5 minutes, and then I'll lose my voice or I'll start hacking. You know how like it will scratch your throat?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, welcome to the
Wolfman.
So it's a week tomorrow, Chris. That is your last
This
day.
is the Wolfman.
Well,
So
can
you'll
you add
do
in a
your
little
show
Macho Man?
next week for this, and then you'll have a show the next day.
No.
Again.
It's going to be crazy.
Hopefully, you want to keep the hours in mind, so it might change. Because it says so many days, but it could be halfway through the day when I was saying that day. I think
What
at about
are you talking about at the rail show that we're going to?
no.
What are you talking about? my
I'm
brother?
talking about your Indiegogo ending.
Ah, yes. Well,
Yeah.
it just says 7 days.
So
can
we're
you
probably
not
going to do it
anything
Wednesday.
outrageous? Go ahead, Diana.
I'm sorry. Next Wednesday night probably would be our best bet to do a closing show with it. That's my thought. I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I want to do a 72-hour stream.
Good luck.
with
Well,
you,
seeing
babe.
as how you got to go to work, I don't think you can do that.
I'll
Yeah,
call
we're
in,
not.
man, and like I'll keep the face paint on, and we'll see if it melts after like
Yeah.
each
He's
day.
just talking craziness now. No, honey, we're not going to do that. Please don't let us
No,
do that.
no.
No,
How about a 48-hour stream?
no.
How
You're
about it
gonna get
all?
lucky to get a 24-hour stream out of
Wait,
her.
I'll be lucky to get a 2-hour stream. She's been very good about keeping us disciplined on that.
Yeah.
How about
Actually, you're gonna get a 24-hour stream. It'll be October 1st
yeah.
how about an all weekend
or
long stream
7th, whatever.
from like Friday night all the way to Sunday night, just
Oh
a
my God.
nonstop stream.
That could
Jesus.
be cool.
Nobody would be watching it. Everybody would be
Well,
sleeping.
yeah, but it could become legendary, and like I could change my paint every like hour or two.
No, I don't.
Yeah, we
Well,
could run like a half-hour
something like
show.
that you'd have to do with a few creators, a few people.
We really,
because,
you know what? Speaking of creators, guys, feel free to invite any artist who might want to participate on Monday nights because
yeah,
it's great having the three of us. But wouldn't it be cool if we had like one or two more guys we could bounce off of while we were drawing? Like,
Mm.
well, I did tell Nerd Wonder about it and asked her about getting drawings off her last night.
she went to art school, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, not for long.
Until she got kicked out. Well, her
She went to
parents kicked her
college
out.
and did art in college. I was listening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know who also went to art college and didn't stay in long? Rob Zombie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Who?
Rob Zombie. He went to
Oh,
art
I didn't
college.
realize that. No, I
He
didn't
went to-
realize that.
Yeah, he went to art college in the mid '80s, and he didn't stay in. He decided to form a band called White Zombie.
They were pretty good. They had quite a few hits.
Yeah. Well, they started off as a noise punk band and decided to go
Mhm.
heavier.
Well, they were more human than human, weren't they?
Yes. Yes, they were.
So, you guys liking my new setup behind me that I'm starting to get together? Although
That's-
I'm not sure whether it's going to last long because I'm thinking of trying to put up my green screen again.
Hang on, let
Okay.
me make you bigger.
That's the new
Nice.
setup.
That's the Enterprise up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the next generation one. I used to
Yeah.
have that.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
That's the one actually from
You get
the
all your stuff in
Generations
the
movie.
background. That's awesome.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to finish it so I can steal a screenshot of it and put it behind me on my green screen.
Yeah. Well, I might end up doing that myself when I finish it.
That's so funny. You guys
And
are
that's
funny.
all. That's all your Transformers in the bottom there.
Well, no, that's some Transformers. A lot of my Transformers are on this shelf here. I have Decepticons on one shelf, Autobots on the other shelf.
And you're gonna give me all of them. I know.
You wish.
So who's on top? Autobots or Decepticons?
Autobots. You see Blaster up there.
Oh yeah.
No, I actually don't see anything because of these shades, so I kind of see shapes. I'm like, which one's on top? Because I can't really tell. But I can tell there's stuff there.
Yeah.
But if I take off my shades, I can see. But look, I'll show you guys. This is secret. So if you're watching at home, close your eyes. I don't have
Yeah.
anything under there right now. So it looks really stupid.
Well, and they can't even see you, and we can't see you because you got me showcased.
Oh, you guys didn't see a thing, did you?
No.
Nope.
All right, hang on. I'll
Oh
do
my
it this
God.
way. So
I'm like,
right
I don't know
now,
what he's doing, but I
I
can't
don't have
see
anything under the sunglasses. So eventually I'll have an eye design here. But that's why I'm wearing the sunglasses because I don't. And the paints we got aren't really strong enough. Like they're professional paints, but the colors are too pastel-y. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to put that on my face. And like the blue is about as far as I'll go, but they have like a pretty purple and a pretty green. I'm like, oh yeah, green with a green screen. That's
It's
not gonna
very
work.
light blue too, because that blue almost looks white.
It almost fades in like a white shadow. Yeah. So what I want to do is get like a navy blue, much darker. Because I'll be honest, my old face paint had a lot of blue incorporated in it.
I'm not sure whether you see my comment earlier, but I was saying you should maybe try and make a character based off this for your
Oh yeah,
comic.
no, he'll be
Yeah,
abound in the comics as like a host. I don't think I'm gonna like insert him into a story, but I do
Well,
want
I
to
was
use him as
thinking an
like
actual superhero or whatever, making as.
yeah, no, I think what I'll do though
But it's
is
trying to
I'll
do it
use him
without
in
making it seem like a self-insert.
well, he would become in his self-insert. So what I think I'll do is I'll use him like in advertising. So when I do like a full page ad in the back of your book, like we all do, you know, we put a page in our backs. I'll draw something for him to be like the host of the ad somehow. I'm still kicking it around, but he'll be incorporated. It's just I don't think I'm going to put him in any stories because then, like, what am I supposed to do when the kids come see me at the convention and they go, "Shoot a laser beam over there"? I left my laser glove at home. How lame
Well,
is
it'd
this?
be no different than people seeing Superman, George Reeves or Christopher Reeves when he went to something as Superman.
Yeah, but they get
Back in the
laughed at
day.
a lot unless they're really good looking. Like there was this one guy who was dressed as Batman, and every time he passed by, all the little kids would laugh at him.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him. I was like, no, bro, you look good. But the kids were laughing at him. It was hard. It was really hard.
But no, like George Reeves, made appearances as Superman. I think maybe I don't think Christopher did, but
Wait a minute. You're not going to tell me George wasn't flying.
yeah.
Did you see those effects? Because they were too good to be made in the 50s. He was flying.
Yeah.
So
No.
I'm sharing a picture here.
You're mixing up the effects. Now the one with Christopher Reeve, now that was believable. Then again, they had a bigger budget to do that too.
Oh, did you put the Zero and Velvet comic thing in the drive yet, Tim?
Oh, I thought you were gonna do that. Yeah, I should probably
Yeah, well, I need you to put it in so I can get it.
Oh, okay, I can do that. Hold on. Talks amongst yourselves.
Hey, did
Yeah,
Diana?
that's what I'm saying. And then because I saw that the cover was
Okay.
up there, so I downloaded it because I don't want to, just copy and paste from Twitter.
Hey guys.
DMs.
Yep.
Guys. Oh, there
Yep.
she is. I wanted to stop and make sure Diana was okay. She is in enough pain that I like to make sure she's okay when she's been quiet.
No, I'm just it's throbbing. I'm due for my medicines, but
I know. You're being a super troop.
I'm hanging in.
You're hanging in.
Oh, by the way, did you guys get the link for Private American?
I did, yes.
I sent up.
Did you send the campaign link? Was that a campaign link, Terry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't find it myself. I went over to Indiegogo. I typed in Private American and
Well, it's shadow banned, so you won't be able to see it unless you have a link. That's why.
Do you know how I found it? It came up on BackerKit.
Yeah.
When I Google searched, I had to go down a little bit, but he was on BackerKit, and from there it sent me to Indiegogo.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because I don't know if Man Guy's shadow banned. I haven't tried to find out. I don't really care if it's
not.
shadow
I've
banned.
looked for Man Guy a few
It comes
times.
up.
I've looked
Good
at
enough.
Man Guy and it comes up.
Nice. Oh,
although
there is a Man Guy. Do you know there's a Man Guy Toshokin out there with a T?
I can believe it.
I never even knew he was there. Because of course I did searches on Man Guy Yoshokin, right? And there were a couple of Man Guys out there, but they were like last names in Japan that went with other names and stuff. But this guy is called Man Guy Toshokin, T-O, and then a K-E-N, not K-A-N. And I giggled to myself. I was like, where the heck was he when I was doing the searches for this name? Because I would have at least known he was there,
Yeah.
Right.
And he's just a guy. It's not like he's a competitor or a comic book, but I was like, holy cow, there's a guy that almost has the same name.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, guys, you're all running out of energy. I'm going to recommend a coat of white clown paint.
All right, well,
Nah.
I hear your recommendation. I completely ignore it.
Well,
Hey, you know
we may
what?
be all a bunch of clowns, but we don't need paint for it.
You know what? You guys sound like those kids that said, "No, I don't need milk. I'll be tall and strong." Look, at none of us drank our milk, and none of us made the NBA.
Hey, I
Well,
drink my milk.
I don't
Well,
not
need
enough.
paint.
unfortunately, I'm the tallest person here, so
How tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
Oh wow.
Damn, Terry, even with my boots, I'm not going to be that tall. I'm 5'9", and I'm getting 5.5-inch boots, I think
What?
they are.
You're
Yeah, I'm
5'9".
getting.
You're an inch taller than me, dang it.
I'm 5'7". Jeez, I'm the shortest guy here.
Well, with my boots, I'll be what,
Am
honey?
I
I'll
always
be,
the giant in the room?
with my boots, I'll be what, about 6'.
I can say
6'1"?
something, but I'll be nice.
Rick
Go
represents
ahead
the
and say it.
lollipop
Go
doll.
ahead and say it. I want to hear you. I want to hear what you got to say. Just say it.
Like, why are you always giant in the room? Because you're the
Go ahead.
giant pain in the ass.
Ooh, I get on a crowded elevator and I'm the tallest person on the elevator.
Now, guys, I'll be honest. Of all of us, I think Terry is probably the least pain in the ass. He is the kindest, most accommodating guy of all of us. Like, no matter what we're doing, Terry's cool. You know?
I was gonna say Rick represents the Lollipop Guild.
First of all, I've seen the worst humanity has to offer.
Although, probably
Hey,
Diana
I
is
gotta
probably
ask a
the shortest
question.
of all of us.
What?
Guys, I gotta ask a question, and it's good that you're all here
No.
because you're my friends, and I can ask this honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you all familiar with the comic book campaign Blade Devil?
No.
Not really. No.
Not really.
Okay, then I'm not gonna ask.
Chris.
Well, the name,
I thought
first
you
of
all would
all,
know.
the name sounds interesting. So, what's it about?
I don't
Give
know.
us
Okay,
give
so
us something.
let me explain the context.
I don't know,
Okay.
he said. Oh dear, go ahead.
Well, I don't know for sure what it's about. There's this argument going on
Okay.
online about, and I don't want to say this out loud, but it's about a type of comic that rhymes with Dolly, but is not Dolly. If you know what I'm saying.
Gross. I don't
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay. So it's borderline that, and it's
It's
CG, and it's been supported by many of a popular CGer. And I looked at what's online, and I didn't think it was quite lolly, but then there was some stuff that was shared that wasn't online, and it definitely. Oh, I just used the lolly word after being so slick.
First
Well,
of
I'm
all,
glad you did because I didn't have a clue what you meant.
So like I'm looking at it, and I was a little bit like, okay, you know, I'm a free speech guy, and if somebody wants to draw that stuff, as long as they're putting a warning label on it for kids, I'm typically like whatever. But like if it's true lolly, that's kind of
gross.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Yes.
you know, lollies are usually created by girls between the ages of 16 and 30.
Yeah, which makes that's a whole different like argument. Like with Japan lolly, I don't know. It's a cultural thing in many ways. But when you get like I'm just going to throw this out there because I don't know who's doing it in America. But when you get like a 24-year-old weirdo who like, you know, has some art talent and is just
Want to
going
know
nuts.
who's doing it in America? Go to Twitch.
Yeah. But it's just something like I saw the book and I was going to ask you guys what you thought of it. But if you guys don't know about it, then it's no big deal. Because yes, it's got your over exuberant cleavage. It's got some shapely buttocks in some of the angles, but it didn't look pornographic to me, at least from what was on the campaign. And so, like, this is one of the things with indie comic books, though, because you never do know what you're going to get unless you get really into asking the
Campaign
creator.
should say if it is that, or even maybe not that, but you know, mature. A campaign should say mature. You know,
it should.
You know, unfortunately, a lot of people don't because I guess they're thinking it's all adult. It is. The thing is, on somewhere like Indiegogo, only an adult can buy it technically.
Doesn't this
you would think
doesn't this kind of sound familiar? There was a book many years ago. It was something called Something Lethal. The
Little Girl Lethal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the creator got snagged up because
I know that.
literally got caught.
Me,
He was doing
me and Rick know that creator.
Yeah. I was on a couple streams with him.
Wow.
He's a funny guy.
Kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies, don't it?
Nah, Little Girl Lethal was. Well, what do you expect from a guy who creates a violent, gets barely legal character?
Yeah. So can you guys see the Blade Devil on the screen right now?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It looks a little familiar.
Like it's not. You know what I mean? It's not. From what I see right there.
This is fantasy, so nobody's gonna really pay attention to.
Well, at this point, what I'm looking at, I would say, oh, this could be out of Final Fantasy. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't strike me as. But apparently, there's other stuff that's a little bit more graphic. There's like I've seen the artwork. I can describe it, but I'm not going to look for it because it's just I don't want to share it. But there's a character that has like is being is in a situation with octopus-like tentacles.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa! Like if that's actually in the book, yeah, I see why people are upset.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
That wouldn't be the word you said earlier. That would just be.
Well, it's gross.
But a form of porn, we'll say.
It's gross.
That would be borderline hentai.
But it gets into lolly in the sense that the character is supposed to be a young lady, younger than an adult, and I don't know. I don't think it had like full rated X.
Well, that character there, if it's that character there that it's involving, she looks to be very much an adult, but you know.
And I don't know the context in the story, whether or not it's very defined or up for guess but it was a big topic. A lot of big people were talking. And as someone who really didn't know, I was wondering if you guys knew.
No.
I haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Nice the first night for the rest of us hearing about it.
I can tell you guys this much. I'm very glad you haven't heard about it. That just means I listen to a lot of weirdos.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, well, you should see
that might be a good thing or a bad thing, though.
Well, I can tell you guys this. I will know when the first alien ship lands in the Walmart in Washington, D.C. And I will share it with you guys because the media won't tell you.
Well, Christopher, I hate to tell you, but you're about 20 years too late.
No. I'm talking about the next time.
The next time, ain't nobody going to be interested.
Did I say the first? I meant on the first, Rick. I meant on the first. I'm trying to do my best Joe Biden here.
Like I said, you'll tell me.
Biden?
Like I said, you'll tell me, and I'll ask how high were you?
And I'll be like, I was on the second story.
Oh God, you guys.
And what story was that you were reading?
Yeah, really, because you're, of course, not going to let me stop there. I love fun. I love dad humor. I'm sorry out there if you guys are not fans of dad humor.
Oh, I have to do dad humor at work. So that's the least trouble. That's the only humor I can get away with.
Yeah, I can't even do that at work. At my job, I pretty much have to be I can be R2D2. I can do a little C3PO, but that's about it. You know, I have to beep and move and go, oh my, let me fix that for you. Oh my. I'm a computer tech, so that's what I do. I go fix things, you know?
Oh me, oh my.
Now, I will tell you, that's a place where Jesus comes into play.
My.
Your patience is tried to the end when you're in tech. Because sometimes you get called by the same people for the same reason a dozen times, and it's no more difficult than turning a volume knob. But you get patience and grace, and you learn how to just. It's okay, you know.
I helped
It's
you deal
okay.
with this 20 minutes ago.
Oh, speaking of Jesus, did you guys catch that video that I put in the opening with Jim Carrey?
No.
No.
When did Home Slice drop the bomb and go to Christ? I was like, wow. So this video, I only played like about 3 minutes of it. He gives a full testimony. He's in with Jesus. And I remember 10 years ago, he was like laughing at us.
Jim
Carrey?
He was laughing at
Carrey,
you,
the
Bible.
comedian.
He was like, are you telling me he was laughing at you, Bible thumpers?
Oh, yes, he was.
You want to send me that vid?
Yeah, I will, bro.
Vid?
I got to find it again because I copied and pasted it and messaged it to myself so that I could copy it into a video file so I could show it tonight.
Well, if you
But I was
copied
like,
and pasted it and sent it to yourself, you just
The
have
link,
to go
yes.
to where you sent it to yourself.
yes, I know. Well, I have to go over to the app and all that, but yes, I will send it to you.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just absolutely. Whenever I see a celebrity come to Christ, I know everybody is the same.
Well,
But when
what
you
about
see that- when you
Chris-
see the celebrity testifying, it means something because more people will hear it.
Chris Tucker?
Yeah, or you hope anyways.
Chris Tucker and the guy who played Debo in the Friday movie. They both go to the same. They both go to the same church.
I know.
That's good, I guess.
Well, because time was short, I had to cut one of the Messiah chips because I didn't get to run that. But I was like, I want to share this little thing from Jim Carrey, because like he was all like explaining what brought him to Christ and what opened the gates of heaven for him through Christ. You know, forgiveness and grace, and he was talking about the decisions we make, like whether or not to be vengeful or be forgiving, and showing grace and. I don't know. To hear Jim Carrey talk like that, I was like, what?
Okay, I guess 2 questions.
Well, Jim Carrey had a Grinch moment.
When do you know when the video is from? What was the date that it was put up?
No. Hang on. All right, hang on. I've muted it. Let me see. It came up on Twitter. I can find it again. I will. I'll send it to you, but where it's almost at the end. It's after this song, which Diana liked a lot. Did you like that one, Jonathan Richard?
Oh, it's a 5-minute clip.
No, it's that's just part of that.
And ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation. And in fact, it's the only way that we have. I really want to speak to the fact that I've had some challenges in the last couple of years myself. And ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation. And in fact, it's the only way that we have to somehow accept, and not deny, but feel our suffering and feel our losses, and then we make one of 2 decisions. We either decide to go through the gate of resentment, which leads to vengeance, which leads to self-harm, which leads to harm to others. You've made the decision to walk through the gate of forgiveness to grace, just as Christ did on the cross. He suffered terribly, and he was broken by it to the point of doubt and a feeling of absolute abandonment, which all of you felt. And then there was a decision to be made. And the decision was to look upon the people who were causing that suffering, or the situation that was causing that suffering, with compassion and with forgiveness. And that's what opens the gates of heaven for all of us. So I'm so glad to be with you and to be a part of this. Thank you, Father Greg. Thank you, John.
And they say that the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
There you go. I'm leaving because he mentioned pain and my finger hurts, and I really have to go lay down.
Well, we have to
Yes.
go offline soon, anyways. But yeah, that I saw that and I was just blown away. I was like, I got to share that because
Yeah,
if you
I'd
knew
like to
Jim
see the
Carrey
full
like I
stuff.
knew Jim Carrey, there was no way he was ever going to do that. Like he was not a. Oh, that's a big change.
Yeah, he actually grew up near me.
You mean like you were neighbors or in the
No,
same
no, no,
town?
no,
Or
no. I didn't know him personally or whatever, but the town over, Burlington, Ontario. There, we were going to a high school. We had a church in a high school there, or part of another church, um, sort of like a satellite church of it. Not quite similar, but not quite the same. But he actually went to that high school for a bit.
how did you get like up there
To where?
to the satellite church?
I got beamed up.
That's awesome. All right, hang on. I'm gonna
He's like, beam me up, God.
I don't know if that's going to work. I'm going to try it.
Okay, let's see. Open a
Yep,
new
that's my
tab.
source. Benny Johnson. Benny's a very right wing kind of guy, but I do watch him.
I see it here. I got it.
Yay! All right. There we go. I'm back.
I'm not sure whether I quite agree with him that you always have to do it that way, suffering to salvation. But
Oh, you know what? I don't agree with all of that either, but I've found in my walk with Christ, Yeshua, Jesus, whatever people want to call him, I am better off listening to what they have to say about him and just relish in the fact that they love him than to try to make them think like I do. Because I used to be the kind of guy where, you know, like we might have an argument over what name you used. Did you call him what? You know, Mary's not the mother of God. I'm going to fight with you about this. No, instead, I like to just listen to them.
yeah,
And then
but
I
it
want
sounds
to
like
try
he's a young Christian at this point, so
he might be. He might
you
be.
gotta give him some slack.
Not, but like really, I'm serious, dude. I've really gotten to the point where like, because I mean, past 50 years experience, and they're idiots. However, they love the Lord. They've dedicated their lives. They're working to help people find Jesus. So even them we got to give them slack because some people, I know because I was one of them, get hung up on theological things that you know, even though they make sense to them, we look at it and go, But you know, like Jesus is going to sort us out. So if they're really the wolves, I'm sorry, guys. You guys, the goats, you guys are going to get taken out, man. We you know, he knows who's sheep.
Yeah, he'll divide us when it comes. There's a whole parable about that. So
Yep. Well, what's weird is in my mind, as much faith as I have that I'm saved, I always keep like when doubt creeps in my head and says, you might not be. I've actually got in my head, if Jesus decides I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. That's it. I'm not going to sit there and cry about it. I'm going to just embrace whatever the Lord gives me.
Yeah.
Because I know he's not going to abandon me. I know that I'm his, you know?
Yeah. And then the thing is, you just think, okay, well, if I'm going to doubt, well, then let's do something to make it all, not that you can work for it, but, you know.
Well,
let's
hearing the word of God and
recommit.
Yeah. The biggest thing whenever I've felt like I was slipping has always been just read the word a little bit, you know, pick it up, even if it's just even if you just tell yourself, I'm just going to read one chapter. Even if I guess it would work with any amount, but like I've always been like, okay, I'm going to go through at least one chapter. I'll open up, like, I love to read John 3. So like maybe it'll be that one or whatever. And if you know what I'm talking about, you'll read that one chapter and maybe you'll find yourself reading 2, or maybe you'll find yourself reading 3, or maybe you'll read the one chapter and walk away, and it kind of resets your focus. It resets your mind. Hearing the word increases the faith, And if you love, like if you know the word well enough, there are parts that you love.
Yeah,
Go to
for
those,
sure.
embrace those. That's all. It's so powerful. It's like walking around with a battery charger for the soul.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that sort of, how did you watch the whole thing with me and Hello?
No, I have
Tuesday?
to go back and watch it because I fell asleep.
Ah,
But I
I
was
saw
there.
it. I saw it.
of it. Well, there are, as you might have noticed, that was episode 15. So you could go. There's like 14 before it.
Well,
You were
wait a minute.
talking.
Wasn't this one
You're
about
talking
Genesis?
about Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, beginning of 2022, we actually started Genesis chapter 1, verse 1.
Yeah, no,
We got
I wanted to make sure I wasn't watching like the wrong one. Okay, so this last one was like Genesis 11 or something like that.
yeah, it was still in chapter 1. But like I said, 2022, we started at Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. We were doing a very sort of detailed, and we go off to rabbit holes too a lot, or rabbit trails a lot. So
Yeah, I
thanks
remember
to
that.
me.
Yep.
But up until about Easter of 2022, we were good. We were on and off because life, right? We switched over because of Purim. Purim, they celebrated. He had a pamphlet that he did for the Jewish stuff over there, so we hopped on, went through Esther, and then after that, life hit and we couldn't keep meeting up, and then stopped. I stopped trying to get in touch with them to figure out when. And then just before the beginning of this year, I decided, okay, need to get at this again, and got in touch. And basically, this year we started up again, but we went back to Genesis 1:1 and did more of an overview.
So
But
this
now,
video was 9 through 11, was it? I'm trying to remember because I remember
yeah,
11 in there.
yeah, I think 9 through 11. It was close to where we left off last year. So after that one, we start getting into it. I just put a new one up today too. So, and then I'm gonna have which was a two-parter really, because we did it on a couple Sundays ago, and we went for almost 2 hours. So I
Right.
split that up. Normally we only go for about an hour. So
I know we want to do more God chat, but I'll do that over on the
Your Chris
Christopher
channel?
channel, and that won't be with TAMU. That'll be with Chris.
Yeah. And so
Not
there'll
that I'm
be
against
another.
TAMU talking about God, because I am a believer with or without the makeup. But yeah, over there I want to do a little bit more serious.
Hey,
Yeah,
you can pretend to be kicking Tamu out. Like, get out of here. Get out. Come back later.
There'll be another video coming up for that. Probably either Friday or Saturday. I'll put it up, so I'll be caught up, and then hopefully me and him will be getting together to record one on Sunday.
Very cool.
And then hopefully it'll be pretty much every Sunday after that,
So
unless
when-
one of us got something to do.
If we started a God chat over on my channel though, I wonder how many pastors and stuff we could get involved. Like, I'd love to find a way to get a pastor a week, and I know pastors, a lot of them are like looking for things like that. So I wonder if we could do something like that.
Get one from every denomination. Call it Holy Wars.
No,
I'm not
wanna
against
keep it
that.
fairly simple. I'm not sure whether you'd want to do it topical or what, depending on the pastor or whatever. So
I'd want to do it differently, but well done. Like, I don't want to put people to sleep. That's a big problem with Bible study shows. Because unless you're totally in not even the scriptures, unless you're into the guy doing the teaching and the talking.
Get that one guy. He'll wake everybody up.
Peter?
Yeah, the one guy. The guy. He spits a lot of fire. You know what I'm saying?
If I can get Peter on here, I will. He did one of our shows once, and I was so giddy the whole time because it's serious. Like, I get the Holy Spirit in me just starts jumping when this guy talks, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just like when he's around, I just get stupid. So having him here, you guys will see. Like I kind of go into a giggle zone. Tell us more about Jesus.
You become a fanboy.
Yeah, like if ever I understood what it truly meant to be a disciple, it's when this guy's around.
No, you definitely want to be able to feel what somebody's saying. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, and usually I respond well to charismatic preachers. I was always a guy who liked and Jesus says, but Peter is not that. He just has a touch of emotional.
The pastor that I have now, he's pretty good. They're on Facebook. Hess Street Mission is the page that they have. He puts it up I think almost every Sunday.
Does he face paint?
No.
Okay.
I ended up going to the Church of Nazarene in Port Orchard one time, and I grew up, and I still am a Lutheran. I grew up to Lutheran. You stand, you read, you sit down, you say the Nicene Creed, but there people are getting up and they're swaying their arms around, and I'm looking around like, what the heck? yes. I was like, you don't need to show off. God sees you.
Yeah, well, that's just them raising their hands to God in praise. They're not.
Yeah, it's just a worship thing. I can tell you this: when we first met Diana, she came down to Orlando with her kids, and she came to my sister's for a cookout or something, and we were going to go to evening services. So we take her into this Southern Baptist church. It's dedicated Southern Baptist. There's half full, because it's an evening service. There's a group up doing worship. They start
Let me
singing.
get this straight. You took an unprepared person to a Southern Baptist church?
A Catholic woman?
Well, she wasn't Catholic. Now, you got to understand, by the time she came down to meet me, she was
No. I said unprepared.
Well, no, she was prepared because I told her, and she was like, oh, yeah, I can do it. No problem, right? So you're thinking, okay, she knows what the deal is. We go in there. They start doing the worship, and it's literally like, dun, dun, Christian soldier, like that kind of, everybody's groaning, marching into the war. And Diana starts, yeah, with the cross of Jesus. And she's coming off. She starts dancing around our pew. And I was not so outward. So I was kind of standing there going, I just met her. I swear to God.
Oh, I get it now. You were unprepared for what she was going to do.
It was awesome. She helped me come out of that shell. Because I was very tight when I met her. I was sending pastors 4-page reports after their sermons explaining everything they said that was wrong, which of course means that I was wrong. I just thought I knew everything. But I would send them a 4-page thing and they'd be like, yeah, I don't know if this is the church for you.
Mm-hmm.
I went through many a church that way.
You're one of those.
Oh, I was, brother. I was the worst.
They probably oh God, oh no, here
well,
it comes.
There might have been some things that you could have been right about, but
Oh, I was right about some of it. It would just be I would make
it's the way you put it.
Yeah. And I would make such an issue of a molehill that they never got to the mountain. They're like, yeah, I would love to talk to you about that, but you're still stuck on this. Yeah. You don't teach someone how to use the brakes if they can't even figure out how to turn the key.
They obviously
you might want to teach them how to use the brakes before they turn the key.
Well, no, honestly,
but especially before you hit the gas.
The biggest problem was I had started getting a reputation in the greater Orlando area where if they saw us coming, they were like, all right, let's do something basic. Get the lead pastor out here. It's that jerk. And there would be a very vanilla service. And I would probably am making more of it than it was. I probably thought it was me and it was just coincidence. But yeah, it was bad.
That wasn't coincidence. That wasn't a coincidence.
When we finally found a home
church, the service because of you, but
well, they obviously didn't know the Lutheran nod where they go, oh, I see.
Well, I was going to
if you went into a place where they raise their hands, I could just imagine if you went into Assemblies of God.
Oh, they're tongue talkers.
Yeah. What? No.
Yes.
What Timothy would have been like. Well, not just the speaking in tongues, but especially if it was a lively one with a good band.
Well, I got to tell you, I love it when people speak in tongues. I think it's fantastic. But I get really frustrated when I recognize the pattern because it's written in an instructional booklet. And I know that those exist because I was going to a Foursquare church, which is a lot like an Assemblies in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And the pastor was handing out how to speak in tongue books. And he was literally going, okay, so like what I like to do is I go, Toyota, Honda, blah, blah, blah. And he had like a series of companies, okay? And he started in a rhythmic pattern. And that was, see, I'm speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
And it's like.
Well, I get that to a degree. They're,
Well,
I
they
get the
believe
book
because
to a degree. It's
the thing is, their theology said if you weren't speaking in tongues, you weren't saved. Because that was the only outward. They believe it's the only outward expression of the Holy Spirit that you can trust.
Pentecostal churches are the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Assemblies of God is what you guys call Pentecostals down there.
Well, it's actually slightly different, only in the sense of, Christians. If two of us start a church, there's going to be two churches in a month because we always do that. Hey, what do you mean Jesus had long hair? I know he cut it short. Well, you go create your own church and teach that, you heathen. And boom, you got two churches. That's how Christians do it every time.
That other church says they had long hair. We all know he had short hair, and he went to Supercuts.
That's right.
He went to Supercuts and got it cut. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm saying that because I've actually heard them argue, like Apostle Paul said that women had long hair and men had short hair. Don't you think Jesus followed what Paul said? And I'm like, I'm not talking anymore. Because they don't mean like Paul is over Jesus, but they're trying to say Paul was teaching this about that. And I'm like, it's totally irrelevant. It's like going back and saying,
Yeah, because with the long hair thing and guys with short hair, he was talking about culture, and it's probably a good thing to go along with whatever your culture is on something like that.
Well, and with Jesus, I don't know how you guys handle it, but I keep in mind that he could be anything from a little 4 foot, totally white little guy to a 6'10" mammoth, almost African American type full. He could be anything in that spectrum. I have no idea, so I keep it wide open.
I honestly wouldn't say that because he was in a Jewish community, and it says he just walked. Unless you want to think somehow mystical, he did this. He just walked and got lost in the crowd. So he didn't, and the Bible says he didn't look. There was nothing to really draw people to him physically.
Yep.
He wasn't nothing spectacular to look at. He was just an ordinary Joe. So
I think
obviously,
the word was uncomely, at least in King James. I think they said uncomely or something like that.
Yeah. So he would have looked probably very similar to every other Jewish man around, in that day and age.
So the question remains, were the Jews mostly white? And to answer that is a tricky one because when we look back through the filter of history, we're only seeing what people have told us. So I keep an open mind. So basically in my head, if Jesus appears in the clouds and he's a lookalike of Shaquille O'Neal, you know what? I'll know him by his heart. If he comes down and he's a little midget guy and he's white as snow, I'll know him by his heart. I have to keep that mindset or else I get screwed and I get locked into religious hypenism and stuff.
No matter what he looks like when he comes down from heaven, I know we're in the clouds. We're going to know it's him. No matter what he looks
I don't think there'll be any doubt. But I don't want to be that, for instance, Southern Baptist guy going there. Nuh-uh. I seen the picture of Jesus in church. That's not him. Bro,
I don't even think they will be doing that.
I think there will be people who will be doing that, though. I think there are people still locked into their theology.
I would say not as we're getting beamed up, and they're there.
Well, I hope not, but you never know. Like these days, I keep thinking about that joke where they talk about the guy on the roof, and there was a flood, and they're trying to rescue him, and finally he dies, and he says, God, why didn't you save me? He said, well, you kept turning me down.
Yeah.
Like,
I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. What more do you want?
yeah, and it's like that kind of mindset could be setting in too. Like,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
scary. Like, what happens if we get a Messiah like figure rising up and he acts like Jesus, but there's something about him, and we all know there's some. It sounds impossible, but after going through the
Well, we know there's going to be a
C19,
Messiah type figure rise up. That's the Antichrist, and a lot of people are going to be drawn to him.
well, we may even
And
be drawn to him. That's the
now,
thing.
of course, there's the debate on whether we as Christians will be here or not. You know, like with
Well,
the rapture and all that.
they
But that,
also they
go
also
ahead.
s- they also say that they don't know if the Antichrist is a person or an entity.
No, he has to be a person.
Does the Bible say he is a person though?
Yeah.
Well, there is a person involved with because they rule over the land with the giving out the power to the leaders and all that. But the Antichrist is not Satan himself.
Yeah.
He's an agent of Satan.
Yeah, it's only at about the halfway mark that he's supposed to be indwelt by Satan.
Right.
After the guy is supposed to have died, gotten struck down, and then Satan possesses him. So he's just really a dead man walking, and he's walking because
Wait a minute. Are you saying that he's the Walking Dead?
Yes.
I freaking knew that show was gonna come real. I knew it.
Yeah, but it's gonna come real for one person, and that Walking Dead man is gonna be very intelligible and all that. He's not gonna be.
So what you're saying is they squished all the zombies. They squished all the zombies into one, so he's smarter than all of them together.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm making it up.
I see.
But like there's just so much going on. I try to keep an open mind about all the stuff that I can't definitely know.
There's a lot of symbolism in the Book of Revelations too. So it's,
there is
a beast in the land, a beast in the water.
Yeah, there's symbolisms, but then there's some not symbolism too.
I think I think the first big chunk of the Book of Revelations are just letters, aren't they?
Yeah,
well,
the first
like the
4 chapters, but it does say after that, when the seals are open, I forget which part that one of the 4 people, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the last horse is actually supposed to be quote unquote the Antichrist, from what I know, because it's supposed to be the ruler that comes and takes over and all that.
Yeah, isn't the Antichrist like the difference between Jesus and the Antichrist? The biggest one is that Jesus doesn't come to rule, and the Antichrist does.
Yeah,
that
that's part of it. Jesus is coming to rule eventually, but that's not why he came originally.
Yeah,
the first time.
Well, I think what I mean is like the Antichrist establishes an earthly kingdom where Jesus was not trying to establish an earthly kingdom.
Okay, did you write this, Chris, or was it your wife?
No, it was written by a guy named John. We don't know for sure if it was the apostle or just John.
No, I just mean in the chat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shared it only because every time I talk about Revelation, I want to bring up 22:11.
I'm reading it.
And I wasn't sure. See, I haven't read Revelation in so long. I was like, is it really 22:11? So when I looked it up, I saw it was. But this is one of those verses that always throws me for a loop because it's basically saying, let the world go nuts and just, stay with him. Like it's basically saying, don't get all tied up and worried into all this stuff.
Yeah.
And yet I always get all tied up and worried into this stuff. Always.
Yeah.
It's like
there's a delicate balance because we're told
because
to
you live in it.
Signs of the times.
Well, it's
Christ
like when you look at
back when he was sort of asked.
When you look at the modern wokeism and they say, what is woke? The answer I love to give, which I can't always give, is it's all this anti-God stuff. That's it in a nutshell. If it opposes the way, it's usually woke. Like the ideals are usually against the way of Christ, the way of the Jews, which also helps detail the beliefs of Christ. Like if you understand Jewish law, you understand Christ's morals. Even if you aren't under the law, you see how he he was teaching the people to live, because that wasn't, Jesus is God, so it wasn't like he taught them that he's the teacher of the word. It's like,
I get you.
that's his morals. So when we look and go, so this is a self-damning one, I'll say it. So should we truly eat bacon or not? Well, if I'm following common sense, there's something about bacon that God didn't like. No matter what it is, I should probably not eat it. Even though it's delicious and I love it, and I'm covered under the grace of God, I still probably shouldn't eat it, because there could be a very good reason, like it's bad for our health. Is it? Oh, I think it is. But I love bacon.
It could be or could not be, because we do also know that in Acts with Peter that he said, and although it was supposed to be at the same time symbolism for,
I
the
would think, because
Gentiles
he
getting
literally
into the faith, which is us. It's like he gave it up to anything can be eaten by thing. And then we do have
he
to remember.
wouldn't. I believe I'm with you, Rick, because he wouldn't use that example if he wasn't also good with the example. Like, he didn't go, do not stop from sleeping with all women if I say they are clean. No, he did not do that, because adultery is wrong. What he said was, don't call what I call clean unclean, and he was talking about the animals on the tablecloth of the vision.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
then
you're
we
right.
also have to remember that those laws, rules were for the old covenant.
Right, but
and just because they were there for them doesn't mean we have to follow them. Doesn't mean it was unhealthy. Maybe it was just to have them follow it.
But
just like when he,
yeah, but wait,
told
time out. There's a line that you're missing, because in modern day, and I'll just put this out there because it's kind of a fact. We know that pig is kind of bad for us. Like, you have to cook it very thoroughly, and even then, it's kind of a fatty, nasty meat. Like, it's not considered like, oh, you're going to be healthy, have a pig every week. No, they're like, drop the bacon, drop the ham, avoid the anything pork. They tell you to avoid. And actually, they want me off of everything like red meat. Do that?
I haven't
What's
heard
that?
much of that. But then again, they tell us to avoid red meat too, which is the beef, right?
Well, I have to tell you, I am worried about you.
You guys are making me hungry.
Red meat is beef, but why is okay? So let's just jump the ship here for a second. Jump the shark. If you get sick, Trudeau can kill you.
No.
Isn't there a program where he's killing people now?
He's trying to encourage people with, or allow somebody that's mentally ill or whatever at that moment. Anyways, yes, it could obviously lead to what you're talking about.
All right, I want you and your mom to move into the States as quick as possible, even though we suck, because we're not killing people yet.
Yeah, well, they're not killing anybody yet either. Of course, it's just like, say somebody's mentally ill. They're trying to get their doctors to say, oh, maybe you should think about suicide, euthanasia. Or
what about the youth? What about the euthanasia?
The euthanasia deserve freedom. They have rights too.
Yeah, but you get what I mean. That's from what my understanding of things are. Obviously, if you stub your toe, he's not trying to have.
So no people are dying yet. It's just something they're advising and not doing yet.
Well, I'm sure some people that have been suicidal or massive depressive might have taken advantage of this, and probably more than that what should. But
so I know this is wholly iconic. Like, I got this from Marvel Comics growing up with them, and particularly Captain America and Spider-Man and even Batman to an extent, even though he's not Marvel. I hate it when people get killed. I hate it.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's not him literally killing anybody. Unfortunately, some doctors are probably recommending it themselves, which I would find wrong. And then, unfortunately, some people that go to them actually needing help, real help, don't discourage them from doing it. They don't, suggest, a good psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever it
Instead,
is.
they're like, "Have you tried hypodermic of battery acid?"
Have you tried this metal slug to the
Yeah.
skull injection?
Now, Babylon B has done a spoof on it, a skit for this, so and it is a little funny. But yeah, if you stub your toe or you break your leg, they're not, as far as I know, they're not saying, hey, maybe you should think about killing yourself.
Well, just watch your back if you stub your toe, because I don't trust Trudeau. Ooh, that rhymes.
Oh,
watch your back if you
bars,
stub
You
your
guys
toe.
pray for us, because hopefully probably not this year, but maybe next year, but for sure the year after, 2025, we will have an election and we need to oust his ass.
Yeah, we need to get rid of
Yeah.
that guy who's pretending to be Biden in the White House.
Trudeau gotta go.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho.
He's just, Trudeau is sinking more and more in the polls every day.
Yeah.
If he wasted 2025, I can't see how. I can't say I can't see how. I have a friend that is liberal all the way, like the party.
Well,
To
yeah,
them,
it's
and,
like we still have Americans that are willing to vote for Biden. I'm like, okay, I get that you're liberal. I get that you're Democrat. Please find another candidate, because if your guy wins, it can't be this guy again. It just can't be.
Yeah.
I
But,
don't care how fake it is.
he just makes, like I was talking to him a few weeks ago. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he was just making excuses for Trudeau.
Well,
like
the Biden thing is
finances.
funny because
I forget exactly what he was saying, but it's like, okay,
yeah, but at least Trudeau is
I would
handsome and he can kind of talk.
Pardon?
At least Trudeau is handsome and can kind of talk. He's kind of like Obama was. He's
Yeah,
a charmer of crowds.
Yeah, but then there's the problem.
Obama was somewhat competent.
Yeah, he's somewhat competent, but then there's the problem. Like, why are you can he's not being controlled or whatever. He's doing this by himself. He's ruining our country. Why are you voting for this moron?
Brother, we're with you.
Back
We're with you. We
when
got our
the
Biden.
if you remember the Freedom
Biden's just
Convoy,
terrible.
he called people that weren't vaxxed, those or during that time, or the unvaxxed people, when there was an election coming up that he called, he said those people.
Oh yeah, yeah, we got it too. We got Biden going, our patience is running thin, and we had all the reporters. You probably remember
the way
this.
he said it was so mustache man.
Yep. It's been that way.
That sounds
you know
like
what,
right
even
out of that mustache man's.
Oh crap!
We're not going to let those people get on planes and trains.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Did you see that? Did you see that speech where he word for word stole one of Ronald Reagan's speeches?
No.
No.
But it is
surprise
almost
me.
11 here.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. So, listen, guys, I'm gonna ditch the hitch and go to bed. But thank you all for coming in, and thank you if you watched. If you were in chat and I missed you, I apologize.
You didn't miss anybody.
Yeah, and with the shades though, I can't tell. It's like really hard.
I've got the chat up, right? I've got the chat up.
Sweet.
I always have the chat up.
All right, so we're gonna go check the links. Melvin 2 is, I believe it's 2 that's on
3.
In
3.
Wow, 3. It's in the link. It's in the description, as is Man Guy. What were you gonna say, Rick?
I said 1, 2, 3.
Toi?
3.
3.
Twice?
3, you fool.
Not cuatros, not dos.
Alpha, beta. I don't know what the third one is. It's not delta, right?
No, that would be the fourth one.
Yeah.
What? Deltoids?
No, delta.
Kappa?
Alpha, beta. What would the third one be?
Is it Kappa?
Trifecta?
No.
I don't know. Anyways,
Not
guys, I'm
gamma.
going to kill this, or else we'll go for another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Bye-bye!
There we go. I'm hitting it.